Hey y'all, my name's Seth Packan, and this is Podunk Perspective, a podcast based on the Podunk Perspective. Podunk Perspective, we are here. It's been a long time in the making, but Lan Law, how we doing?
Man, we're doing good,
man. How are you?
We've been talking about this for a couple months now, haven't we?
No, it's been in the works, and you guys are busy and stuff, and I'm busy, so we finally got it down on the schedule, and I couldn't be happier, dude.
Man, we're excited to be here.
Yeah, so we got Lance and we got Lawson, right?
What's up? Yeah.
Cool. So how'd you guys get into music? How'd you guys meet? What's kind of the story behind that?
Well, we met by, I guess, force.
Not by choice.
Yeah. We're blood related brothers.
Oh, I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird though. We go by our middle names, Lance Curtis and Lawson Wayne. So many people think, what? This don't
are
make
they
sense,
friends?
You know?
Are they?
Do y'all have different parents? What's going on here? And
the last name's just too hard, man.
Yeah, we got blessed with a very difficult last name,
What is it?
It's actually Carn, and the way it's spelled, it's like Gaelic or whatever, I don't know, but it's like Caugghron.
Nice.
And so
Imagine
they're at the very
beginning.
They're at the very beginning before social media was like this big hot thing, We were going by, hey, y'all go look us up at Lance Carn, Lawson Carn, whatever,
right.
And then social media took off, and it's like, I cannot keep going on stage and saying, y'all look us up, Caugghron. It's way too hard. So we just eventually converted to our middle names, and
That changed into Lan Law.
So what got you guys into music? Did you guys grow up playing music, or obviously listen to music, stuff like that?
Our grandpa had a classic country band back in Arkansas, so he was gigging every weekend, also going out. It was our grandpa, our uncle. It was just a family ordeal, and it kind of grew into Lance was up there from a year old on stage with them, holding guitar, tipping his hat to the ladies, this, that, and the other.
I was a ladies' man.
I was a little bit more into sports at that time, but I was always there.
Yeah.
Always seen it. I was always fascinated with any drummer that they had up there. So I started watching them and just eyeballing them, but never really digging into it and getting closer to it. And then over the years they progressed, and I was about 11, I think, whenever I first started playing drums. I started on a cajon. A week later, we came here to Nashville and had some guys coming up to me. They're like, I've been playing 40 years. I can't figure this cajon thing out. It was the first time it's ever came out. They're like, how long you been playing? I said, a week, man. I said, no way. I said, yeah. It just comes natural to me.
No, that's awesome.
We played a show the next week, opening up for Barrett Baver back in Arkansas.
Okay.
And I got out there, and I had this little rinky-dink Facebook Marketplace specialty electric drum kit. Mm-hmm. We took it out there on stage, set that bad boy up, and I played the show on that. And about middle of the show, the whole entire right side of that thing just collapses on my leg. I just kept playing, holding it up. Now, never missed a beat, so I don't know. I guess watching all those other people playing drums and growing up around that just kind of progressed to me finding a love for it and getting into it myself. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. What about you?
Man, like you said, I started at a year old. Our grandpa, he had a classic country band.
What was the name of the band?
It was a family band for a long time. It was called Gage Country, and it was my uncles and my cousins and my grandpa and several other players. But as the girls and stuff, the cousins, they grew up, they kind of split, got married, all that stuff. So there towards the end, it was called Guitars and Cadillacs from the Dwight Yoakam song.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And man, I grew up with them. At a year old, I would be on stage for 4 hours, man. I just loved it, dude. And when we took a break, I took the mic,
That's awesome.
Couldn't play, couldn't sing. Probably still can, I don't know. But, dude, I swear, man, it was just in the blood. I loved it, and I loved being on stage, and I just never put it down. And took my first trip to Nashville almost a decade ago now.
What's the age difference between you guys?
4 years.
Okay, cool.
4 years. I turned 24 actually in like 3 or 4 days, something like that. On Sunday, I
Happy
turned 24.
birthday.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome.
4 days away, and I'm 20 years old, so
Yeah.
that's why we got the dues today. Appreciate you hooking us up, man.
Awesome. Hey, Mountain Dew, you heard it first.
Hey, you told us that we were gonna get messed up on some Mountain Dew. So we had an Uber here today just so we were safe to drive back.
No,
safe to get
awesome.
back.
Hey, Lan Law might need a Mountain Dew sponsor. So,
Hook us up.
Yep.
so what made you move or like even look at Nashville?
So I took my first trip, 8 or 9 years ago, and what kind of sparked the whole trip to come to Nashville? I auditioned for American Idol.
Okay.
Long time ago.
How was that experience?
We were in Alabama. I think Muscle Shoals was where the audition was.
You're probably 15,
And
16.
yeah, I was like 14, 15, something like that. And man, I went through the audition. I felt great about it. I got told no.
Yeah.
And I left that place smiling.
Yeah.
And I was watching all these other people, and they were bawling their eyes out. They were crying. And I'm like, why are they crying? It's just it's just one opportunity that is stopped, but it's not the end of the world, It's not the end of your career. Keep going, keep fighting. And we were 3 hours from Nashville from there, and we thought, you know what? Let's go to Nashville. Let's make a new opportunity out of this opportunity that the door got shut on, And so that was my first trip, and that was the week after my grandpa passed away, and the band broke up, and just, I loved it when they keep going, and kind of went solo at that point. I was solo for probably 2 or 3 years after that.
Yeah. So were you playing gigs here in Nashville?
We were doing rounds. We were writing with co-writers and stuff, and doing some recording during that time period. Dolly Parton's producer actually reached out to us, and we started working with him. Started getting some bigger rights. Started doing some bigger shows, and it was a really, really cool learning curve. We got to write with people that are writing the top 40s for Jason Aldean and Maddie and Tay and so many people, and it's just been a huge blessing to us. And it wasn't long after that where Lawson came in and started doing it with me.
So did you agree to join the band real quickly or no?
I was a little, like I said, I was into sports a whole lot growing up. So
it was a gradual thing.
I had a pretty good career going in baseball at the beginning of, I just loved doing it. It's who I was, like
I do
playing
have a
guitar
question.
with him.
Have you been seeing the Arkansas Gage Wood stuff, how he pitched a no-hitter?
I'm going to be honest with you, no, but tell me more.
He pitched a no-hitter. It was amazing. First time that's happened in like 60 years. And Lawson grew up playing ball with that boy.
Oh, wow.
And so,
that's cool.
Yeah, I really think that Lawson, if he was stuck with it and stuff, he could have had a really prompting career in sports, But
that's how life changes. It'll throw curveballs at you all the time. And here we are. We're trucking along, loving every minute of it. So.
That's awesome.
I reined him into music. That's the biggest deal.
I played a little bit of everything there at the end. I was playing a lot of first base. I mean, I'm a big old boy, so they would have either put me at third, first, or maybe catching. But I'll stick to those. But
no, that's awesome.
I grew up playing there just about every position. I started in the outfield, and
what about football?
I got bigger.
Did they put you on the football field?
I was defensive end and quarterback, so I played both sides. Ran both sides of the ball, but I don't know. It was good times. So like I said, whenever I was about 11 or 12, and they bought me a cajon, and I was like, you know, I'll kind of mess around with it some, see what happens. I was hitting on my legs, on the tables. I was hitting on the car door, anything that I could as I was like listening in a restaurant to the music playing, and I was just tapping along with it. I think he's playing drums, but they were like at the end,
doing it all the time, dude. We had to completely shut the radio off and stuff at times just because he would not stop, man. We were like, "What are you doing? Just stop!"
Yeah.
And one day it just hit us and stuff. We were like, he's playing drums.
But I was like, man, I don't know. It was nothing for me to get out on the court or out on the field and like perform in that aspect. But going out and playing music, like even sitting there and just playing the drums, not even singing, that was terrifying. Yeah. I mean, we played this little coffee shop in a town with like maybe 1,000 people. Maybe 10 in this entire place for my first like out town gig, and I was absolutely terrified the entire time. I mean, sat in the back, all tucked away, just barely tapping on the cone, and I don't know, just kept doing it, kept going out there and putting myself out there, and here we are today playing full kit drums, singing in the duo. So
hey, it's working.
It's been fun.
No, that's so cool. I also do in a cajon too. A lot of people don't realize it, but it's very important in this industry, especially for, you know, some of these like smaller acoustic gigs and stuff. You know, it adds so much to your set.
That's a lot lighter than daggone drum set.
Yeah,
a whole lot easier to travel with.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. So when you moved to town, like, did you have to do, you know, what like a lot of other artists have to do, like go down and play on Broadway or anything like that?
Man, we played down Broadway and stuff. We really spent most of our time here in Nashville just writing songs with guys, you know. We would write songs, we'd get in the studio as much as we could. We were learning, you know. We had a big learning curve to go through before we could really hit the streets and stuff. We were doing rider rounds like crazy, you know, in town, and every now and then we'd have a full band show, you know. But as far as in town, we kind of stayed reserved until we were ready to get out there, you know.
So we were all around town, but like Broadway, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times we played down there. And it's not.
If you had to pick one bar to play at, I know it's not everyone's favorite place to be, but if you had to pick one bar to play at, where you
Red.
That's a good choice.
He stuck with it. Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we got to play Red the first time after we blew up, and it was a really crazy, surreal experience.
Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing videos of that, and like the whole room, like you guys were on the bottom floor, right? And
yeah,
it was just packed.
Man, and that was 3:30 on a snowing day. It was snowing in Nashville.
It was snowing. There was ice on the sidewalks and stuff. I'm sure everybody slid down the sidewalk.
Yeah, everyone's rights were canceled.
Yeah.
You know,
but no, man, it was crazy, and we were talking to Red, and they were like completely amazed about how many people came that day too.
Yeah,
because I think we had like close to 200, 300 people that showed up.
That's awesome.
And it's 3:30 on a Wednesday
afternoon.
You know,
snow coming down. I mean,
and we could not believe it. We were amazed by it, and every show since then has been just a blessing, man. We're getting to get out there and get our music heard in ways we never thought we could. And it all started from the internet, you know.
Yeah. Like, obviously this is a very cool city and stuff, but like, what's your like coolest moment that you had? You know, maybe it's not a gig, but maybe it's just like a moment like in town where you're like, damn, this place is cool. Like, I'm doing something cool.
Man, I would really have to say when we blew up, it's like everybody started reaching out all at once, you know. We were actually out with the Swan Brothers. They're good buddies of ours, and we got a song that we wrote that we're actually about to put out. And but we were out with them guys, and they were texting Blake Shelton stuff the whole time because he was their coach on the Voice.
Just casually texting him. We're sitting there. I'm just sitting there in the chair, and all of a sudden I see Zach Swan. He pulls up his phone and he just takes a picture of me.
Yeah.
Sitting there like, dude, do I need to pose for you next time? What's going on here? What are you doing? He's like, oh, you don't, nah, I'm just sending it to Blake. And me knowing who he's talking about, I said, you're sending a picture of me to Blake Shelton. Yes, absolutely. I need to pose for you next time. Let me show the guns or something.
No, he sent that picture, and Blake sent back and said, oh my gosh, my heroes. And I'm thinking, awesome. Blake Shelton called Lan Law his heroes. You know? This is amazing because we looked up to him for so long, still do.
Yeah.
And when we write, you know, it's a lot inspired by Blake Shelton songs, and it's got that classic but modern feel to it, and that's kind of how we like to portray our music. You know, that's who we are.
I kind of feel like if there was ever a so-called duo out there that we could kind of compare ourselves to, it would sort of be the Blake Shelton, Trace Atkins collabs. Oh, like every time those two would collab, man, it kind of fits right up our alley. So
no, that's so smart. It's
fun.
It's smart but cool, you know, because obviously those are massive artists and people love their music. So it's a great way to think. Coming out with this new music and stuff. What's the name of the song that you got coming out?
Over Yonder.
Okay. Ooh, tell us a little bit more behind it.
Man, we everybody thinks that when they look at us on the internet, they don't think we're country. They think that we're city boys and stuff that ain't never killed a deer, ain't never fished a day in his life, you know. And man, we grew up hunting, we grew up fishing, we were riding foolers through the mud. We done it all, you know.
Yes,
and
sir.
So when we released Country to the Bone, you know, everybody's like, man, Chat GPT wrote this, AI, blah, blah, blah. Man, I sat down. That was the fastest song I ever wrote.
Hey.
Chat GPT helped a lot. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was one of them songs where, like, the good Lord just lets you write it, you know?
Yeah.
And it...
Creative brain flowing.
It was like everything that we're made of went into that song. And so that's why it was so easy. That's why it worked, because it related to us and it came from the heart and the soul, you know. And that's what people recognize, I think, at the end of the day. Despite everything else, that's what people recognize. And I feel like Over Yonder's kind of right there on the same level as Country to the Bone. It's country, it's who we are, and it's a song that says, you know, when you look at us, this is what you get.
Right. So if you were to have a remix of Country to the Bone and bring on a person of your choice, who would that person be?
That's a good question.
You know, we
never really thought about bringing anybody else on, but we've actually kicked around the idea of doing a remix of Country to the Bone and everything, so that might be something to think about.
We've had one other artist in a whole different genre. We did another podcast with him before, and he came out there. He said, all right, guys, I got a surprise for you. He's like, what's that? We're like, what's that? He's like, I actually wrote my own line to Country to the Bone and filled it in. Dude, it was cool. I'd almost have to say,
who was that?
Like him or someone like it. His name was Edgar. Don't even get me to lying on his last name because it's hard.
Something sandwich or something like that. Yeah. No, he's a big TikTok influencer, and he's killing it out there. I think the boy's got over 1 million something followers, and he's absolutely crushing it. But
he's married to.
If you want to know his last name, we couldn't tell you, but
Slavan. I don't know. He's married to one of our hometown girls. Also, her name's Emily Flood.
Yeah,
she sang that "I Love You, Baby."
Really,
the one that Jewelers picked up and all that. So he invited us out to their house. They live back home with us now. They're in that town, and they're like, let's get something going on. And we showed up out there. He's like, yeah, I got something for you. And it blew me away. So I would say someone like him, like in that same type of genre aspect. Cause it was cool to me. I liked it.
Remind me, what's the name of your hometown?
Batesville, Arkansas. Yeah.
What was it like growing up there?
Man, to be honest, I couldn't tell you.
Well-
I stayed in my room and I wrote songs. So
I'll tell you.
if I wasn't out in the woods, I was in my room writing songs. But it's a good town, you know. I grew up playing football there, and it's a big football town.
What position did you play?
I was a defensive end.
Okay,
So
look at that.
I played tight end, defensive end. Got to high school ball and told coach I'm tired of offense. I just want to play defense because I like hitting people. And so, man, I was good at it too.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I loved it.
You laid a few cracks.
You can't tell with his belly, man, but one time I was fast. And I loved getting out in the backfield, man. And just nothing like it, dude.
That's
Nothing like it.
That's so cool. What about you? What was
Well,
it like
I was
growing
gonna
up there?
say, I know you said you haven't heard or seen anything on the Gage Wood stuff, but he said it best in one of his post game interviews. He said, "I don't know if y'all seen Batesville, but there ain't much there to do." So, you know, we rode a lot of back roads, rode a lot of 4-wheelers out in the fields, through the creeks, that kind of stuff. Friday night football games. And
Yep.
if you want to hang out with your friends late at night, do something, you're walking around Walmart usually causing too much trouble inside of there. But other than that, that's about it.
I don't know if it was the same way for you guys, but I remember my high school football games had the best hot dogs. That was the best hot dogs. Yeah, the concession stand hot dogs are really good, like gas.
Yeah, there you go. I don't really know that I ate a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I probably would have threw them up had I did.
Well, like honestly, like we would get done with the game, win or lose, and they would have a bunch left over from the concession stand.
Yeah.
So they would give them out to all the football players, or if they had like slices of pizza and stuff like
I was
that.
about to say,
I was like,
usually Batesville would hook us up with some pizza. So from usually Papa John's or something like that, they just say, all right, they'd have a slew of pizza boxes out
I
there.
love
Just
Papa
pick it
John's.
up.
I love it. It's cheap, but it's good. I played nose guard and guard for offense guard, but kind of same thing. Like when I got to high school, I was like just defense, you know. And so like at my high school, we had a small defensive line. Like they had two big DNs, and then they loaded it with like quick small guys in the middle, and it was funny, you know. Like my freshman year, I think, or freshman or 8th grade year, our high school team went to states, right? And we played against this big Detroit team and everything, and they were stacked. You know, their offensive linemen, they averaged probably, 300 pounds, like basically, college kids,
Yeah.
And we had, our line averaged maybe 185. And we ended up coming out of that game. It was 42-28. We won, but it's just like,
bro.
just the heart of a small town, it's crazy what it can do.
Yep.
So
All right.
living in Arkansas, but also coming here a lot here to Nashville, what's the difference and like how do you guys deal with that?
Yeah, it's dude, I swear we putting so many miles on I-40. It's crazy. I don't know if you remember or not. A couple of years ago, the Memphis Bridge broke, shut down for a little bit. I swear we done that. But no, man, just when we're here, we feel at peace. We feel at home.
Okay, cool.
We're surrounded by people that we all have the same dream and same passion here, and we're able to use that and to create stuff, Back home, we're still writing, we're still recording. I've got a little studio set up and everything, but man, it's
Not
different
to
being
scale.
back home.
Yeah.
It's like we come here to work and we go home for vacation,
Right.
instead of the other way around.
Yeah. So who are some like, friends of yours, or some really good co-writers, co-workers you guys love to work with?
Yeah, man. Dude, I swear, so many great guys in this town. Garrett Schultz,
Yep.
love writing with that guy. Great
Good
dude.
one.
Micah Kennedy.
Swan
Zach
Brothers were
Hatton,
fun to.
Swan Brothers.
They were good, right?
Pete Salas. We've written with Bridget Tatum.
Yeah.
So many people and stuff in this town,
So
just-
when I first saw you guys, it was actually at the basement. And you guys were opening up for Brent. How did you guys get in touch with Brent? Did he reach out to you?
Dude.
How
I
that came
met
about?
Brent. Dude, I met him
Good
8
long
years
while ago. Yeah.
7 or 8 years ago, I met him at the Commodore. We were doing a small riders around there, and we've been friends ever since. We kind of lost contact there for a long time.
Yeah.
And he reached out and was like, "You want to play the show with us?" And I'm like, "Dude, let's do it. Let's do it." And so it was a good night. We had a good time. A lot of people came, and it was fun. So.
No, that's cool. So, how'd you when all this, fame and stuff was coming about and everything, how'd you guys take that in at first? Like, what was your first initial reaction? Is like,
oh crap. Oh crap, what have we done? Because man, everyone's always like, well, how much did you pay, or what did you, like, how did you promote it, what kind of ads did you sponsor? Like, we didn't. I mean, we simply just put videos out and they just happened to take off.
Do you remember the first video?
Yeah. We drove to a little place called Cushman, Arkansas, and it's about 15 minutes away from where we live. And we got out in this road that I'd never been on before. But we were just driving this road, and it was so pretty. It was out in the country. The road was just winding through the hills, you know. We came around this curve, and the sun was just right there. Yeah. And I'm like, man, if this ain't a video, I don't know what it is. And so we set up, had this little tripod, we're just singing into the phone camera, and we filmed this like 15-second clip, and we put it out there. Yeah. And that was the first video that got us over 1 million views. And we were like, daggum. And I swear, man, I blame Chase Matthew for all this.
It's all Chase's fault.
Why is it Chase's fault? Tell me why.
Chase and I have been buddies for a couple years now, and about 6-7 years, I guess. We met at Bon Aqua, Storyteller's Hideaway Farms, Johnny Cash's place. Yeah. And we were doing the riders around out there, and we met then, and we've been friends ever since. And I seen Chase. We were doing this thing called Christmas for Kids right before
December 16th.
December 16th.
I still remember the date, man.
You remember, because I don't. But we were doing December 16th. We were doing Christmas for Kids in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and this year Chris Stapleton was there, Chase Matthew was there, we were there, several other people were there. And it was just a great time. We were able to go in there and help the kids raise money, for Christmas presents. The kids, man, the stories you hear from these kids, they're just amazing, It's so heartwarming and stuff to see different families and different way people live and stuff. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are struggling, Right. It's a hard time
with
for
a smile.
People.
Yeah, with a smile.
And they've got such positive attitudes about it.
That's
too.
what I was about to say.
Man.
You've got a bunch of kids they get this allowance to go in to buy their Christmas gifts, to shop with the cop, do all this. That's what the whole program is about, is helping some of the underprivileged kids around here. Most of them, dang near 90% that I've seen and heard, they go in and they start buying stuff for brother, stuff for their sister, stuff for their mom and dad. Yeah. They're not spending that money on themselves. There's a lot of them that they have to force, saying you need to buy a toy for yourself. Right. So, it is awesome to see, and it is definitely it makes you reflect on your own person, and I don't know, it's cool. It's a cool experience.
It's so cool, but we were there this year, and Chase was there, and we were talking to him, and he's like, dude, why aren't y'all posting on social media? And this is probably 3 or 4 days before we really buckled down and done it. And he's like, why aren't y'all posting? He said, I want to help you guys out, but you guys have to start posting. Yeah. And dude, we were like, man, we hate it. We don't know what to do with our hands. Dude, I swear.
It's okay.
That's one of our comments. These guys don't know what to do with their hands. But no,
we told him we hate it. We just simply don't like doing it, man.
We've done it for several years. It's like we all hate it, man. We just have to do it. And
you have to do it, and obviously it works for you guys, but other artists should take a look at you guys and be like, it works. You have to post. If you're in this town, not doing that stuff, working with art, like, writing songs, it's not worth it if you're not posting.
Man,
it,
you could be we're out there busting your butt every single day, getting up to sundown, working as hard as you can out in the town. But if you're not posting on the socials,
right.
And it used to not be that way.
Right.
I mean, back in Johnny and all their day, Merle, they didn't have to post on social media.
It's not just touring anymore.
I've got a friend here in this town who got his first publishing deal back in the day by taking a cooler of fish that he caught in there, slapping it on the table, and said, take a listen to my songs, and I'll give you these fish.
They took
That's how it used to be, man. I miss Nashville when it was like that, It was a great time to grow up in, I'm sure,
Well, and I think that's the true thing about Nashville that's always going to stay. Whether, you have these big, pop artists, whether it's Beyonce or whoever it is come into the genre, Nashville's still going to stay Nashville because that stuff's going to pass and country's still going to stay,
Amen.
So, I mean, it's cool to think about, but at the same time, it's what everyone has to deal with right now. Is you have to deal with this big blend of like, oh, there's country rap, there's country rock, there's country pop, there's you name it. How do you guys kind of look at it and see it?
Man, the way I see it, obviously we love country.
Yeah.
We're not going to go out and we're not going to put down anything that anybody else is doing because they've got the same dream we do, just a different lane, Yes. And so that's what this town's about, There's so many people here that we're all here doing the same thing one way or another where everybody has a shot, and the good Lord will bless who the good Lord wants to bless. Right. And if you're the biggest jerk in this town, everybody will know it. Right. If you're the nicest guy that supports everybody in this town, everybody will know it.
Yeah. No, 100%. Amen to that. And when I first moved here, you're fans of a bunch of these artists, but then you start working in the industry a little bit. You get to know some of these people, and you're like, oh, some of my favorite people I thought were my favorite people are not my favorite people.
Yeah, exactly. And see, there's really no reason to be like that. Right. The jealousy in it. Like you said, everyone is here doing their own thing. Everyone is. Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're trying to achieve the same goal of getting that superstar status, of getting their music heard, their name out there. But ultimately, if your buddy's getting it, like he's getting the fame, he's getting the popularity, support him. Right. Be there for him. Well, be proud of him and say, hey, man, that's awesome. Thank you. Because ultimately, he's just doing what he loves, and he's just chasing his dream just like you are, too. So
I think at the end of the day, it is a competition. We're all competing against each other, but what we fail to realize is that the blessings and the opportunities that we get from the good Lord in His time. And so if we get jealous at the next guy that gets it, then how is God going to bless us when we're mad when they're getting something where we should be proud that they're getting it,
Well, especially, like I tell people all the time, collaboration is so important in this town. I'm not saying you guys have to do songs together, but just to work together, pick each other's minds, talk to other artists. You guys probably see it where it's like, oh, you pick their mind, like, oh, I could be doing that. Oh, that's a good idea, stuff like that, that involves your career. But then it happens with them as well, where there's a few things that you might tell them where it's like, oh, I'm going to pick a few things from the Lan Law guys because they're killing it, doing the social media stuff or whatever it is, So it's cool, but you like you said, you got to take ego out of it and you can't have it.
Yeah.
So
the best way that we have really noticed to get through and get by this town. Yeah. Humble yourself, put yourself lower than what your expectations are, and just get out there and be a human. Yeah. Just be a person, be a human being, and just support one another, talk to one another, and just don't put yourself on that pedestal of I'm higher than mightier than thou. I mean,
What's some of the best advice you guys have gotten since being here in town?
Go home, become the biggest thing over there, and then come back to town.
I mean, honestly,
Throw 100 songs away and restart.
I was about to say,
Honestly, man.
he says
we didn't want
that-
to hear it in time,
Yeah.
but it's something that I think we needed to hear, We were having a meeting with a BMI executive, and this was at the very start, and it was a different rep than what we normally met with. Mm-hmm. And he said, let me hear something. We played one song. He said, all right, here's my advice. Go home, become the biggest thing there, and then come back to Nashville. And we were like, what a jerk,
Yeah.
But looking back on it,
You see it. I mean,
the guy was right.
he was
I
right.
mean,
Whoever that guy was, he was
people-
smart.
People in Nashville do not want to take on
Yeah.
someone who hasn't done anything.
Right.
They want a business. When you come to Nashville, they want to buy your business. They don't want to take on an independent artist and break an independent artist anymore.
They don't want to
So,
feel like they have to build something.
Yeah.
They want to be handed something. Just as much as artists want to be handed something, these record labels and management companies, they want to feel like they're handed something.
Yeah, and I do feel like there's a way where we did kind of get out there too early at the start, But I think at the same aspect of that, being here in this town, we learned so much that we wouldn't have learned if we were back home,
Right. Yeah.
back home, we were the best thing, We were playing all the shows, we were doing all this, all that. We had to get to this town to see the more advanced riders, to see the bigger shows that they're doing. We had to learn, And so being here, observing that, networking with people, that's really, I think that is the biggest reason why we're at where we're at today.
Especially, add on to that. I agree. It was one of those deals that you didn't want to hear at the time. And like you said, being here definitely helped grow and develop us. Yeah. But really, until we just now kind of became to where we'll walk around Walmart. Hey, man, can I grab a picture? I took a picture one night with this group of guys in Walmart. They went back there to the Instaprint, printed it off, and then I signed it right there in Walmart.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's like now we are kind of becoming more of the hometown heroes. It's kind of, I hate to say heroes, I really do. It's not what I'm trying to get out, but like, we're a small town.
Right.
It's only 10,000 people there, and there's a lot of kids there that have dreams. So ultimately, they're seeing, hey, if these guys can get out there, they can achieve their dreams.
Right.
Maybe so can I. And something like that, that is really what is uplifting and encouraging to me. What kind of keeps it going is it's not only about us, but it's about all the other people in our hometown and everywhere else around the world.
And I didn't realize the outreach that Country to the Bone had. I still don't think I
don't
fully
realize it.
get how big that song went.
Well, and it's funny because, Nashville is always, I feel like, this first wave of the first ears hear it here first, right? And then it takes about 6 months, maybe a year, and all of a sudden the wave hits the outside states or whatever it is. So, it's just like, it's crazy how that works,
And that's probably how it happened for us here.
Yeah.
We had that song out for 6 months before it done anything. We debuted it, opening it up for Colin Ray, and it was a great show. 10,000 people were there. It was a fun show, dude. Yeah. Tommy Gerlach, you know him, right?
He had all of his band. I don't know. He wasn't at the basement, was he? Just the bandmates.
Yeah.
They all play for Josh Ross.
Okay.
And they were there at the basement that night of our show, and Tommy is their guitar player.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Pink guitar
Yes.
and long.
Yes. I know exactly
He can tear it up, man.
Tommy came down, and we debuted that show with them guys, and great group of guys, great musicians, and it was a fun show, man. And we had that song out for 6 months. It did nothing. We played it every single round around town. People loved it around town, People come up wanting to write and stuff, which
Yeah.
is really cool because when we first came to town, it was, hey man, can we write with you? And now people are doing the same thing with us, and
Yeah.
so it's a blessing, you know. But then it blew up on socials, and dude, I swear, man, I still don't think we've fully grasped the all
It's
of
still
it. You know?
going.
It's like, golly, and
obviously
man,
got more music to come. I mean,
we haven't posted anything in like 3 weeks.
yeah.
And we post and we're back up to 50,000 views. And I'm like, how's this not dead yet? You know,
Yeah.
I wake up every single day. I thank the Lord because he's making our dreams come true. You
Right.
know, it's taken some time. I'll be honest, you know, we've got hit with a lot of hate and
Yeah.
stuff on social media.
How do you guys deal with that? How do you guys, because obviously it's bullshit in the beginning. Like, it's bullshit no matter what. But, like, in the beginning, it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, that was one of them
We
deals.
went
Like
through phases.
you said, what was their first initial reaction? I said, "Oh crap," because I'm sitting there in my house, laying in bed with my wife, and then I get on, like my phone just starts blowing up. I'm like, what the crap's going on? I pull it over, like grab it, turn over and grab the phone, and I start looking at it, and I'm seeing all these comments, all these views, everything, and I'm like, oh crap, what did we just do?
Right.
Where did I start calling out like, do we need to take this down? What's going on? They're calling us gay. Like, I'm sitting here in bed with my wife right now and they're calling us gay. That's my brother. No. And, for a while we were like, do we take it down, or are we committing career suicide? What is going on right now? We called around, started asking a few of our friends here, and they're like, "No, just leave it up. Let it run its cycle and see what happens."
Yeah.
And then eventually, we would have some people who are like, "Well, I actually like this. I don't know why these guys are hating."
Yeah.
Or I mean, you just get this. Over time, the people have kind of changed. They kind of flipped. We started getting. It was like a Saturday morning, about 8:00, and her manager, she's like. Like what? She says, I just got an email saying that Kane Brown saw your video on social media and wanted us to get in contact. This was his record label and publishing team. She's like, yeah, they want, Kane Brown saw your post on social media and they want to set up a meeting with y'all. And we're like, what? I mean, so it's crazy what it has come to. But in the first beginning, it was like, do we take it down? What do we do? All this, that, and the other.
We didn't know, you know. We went through phases where 1 minute we were fine with what people were saying, it was getting a bigger outreach. Next minute, crap. We just had a festival turn us down because they read our comments. Crap. What's going on? All right, it's fine. We get
That's
some
crazy.
opportunities.
You actually, like, a festival's turn you down because
There's been a
we
few.
have had festivals and fairs and stuff like
Just
that.
because-
turn us down, that would have booked us, that has booked us in the past. Great show. They loved it. They read our comments and stuff. And I'm like trying to explain to these people, what you guys are seeing is not what we're seeing.
Right.
It's not
When
what's
we
coming
get to
to the
these
show.
shows, we're
Yes.
getting 500 people
Right.
coming out singing
Man,
every word.
every word.
We
Every
played this
word.
spot. We played this spot in College Station, Texas, and it was not at all a known spot in College Station. I mean, it just wasn't. And we posted it. We were like, all right, we'll see who comes. Who knows? We ended up drawing 400 or 500 of those Texas A&M students out to the show. They sat there for 3 hours during the entire thing, and like he said, every single word, they were up in front of the stage, just screaming their head off, dancing. And I'm like, man, this is the stuff that reminds you why you're doing it. It's fun to be here, and there's the kind of
And
stuff
whether
that they're not
people-
seeing on social
Whether
media.
people showed up initially to laugh at us, they went away having the best night of their life. And I mean
You
that.
know-
We had a guy in our hometown, and he was like, I do not want to go to that show. I hate those guys.
Called the owner of the place, said, I'm not coming.
Canceling my reservation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the owner talked him into coming.
Yeah.
And he did not want to come. He shows up. He's all mad and stuff. By the end of the night, he was shirtless on the table, swinging it around.
Swinging his shirt up.
He came up. He was like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I did not like y'all. I love you guys.
He said, I listen
And
to social media. He said, I've seen them on social media. That's all I know about them. And the owner's like, well, have you ever heard them live? I was like, no. And he's like, well, I've heard them live. I've seen them play. They played here before. They're good. You're coming. You come all the time. He says, you're coming. And he got out there. That was what he ended up doing at the end of the night. He came up. He's like, I really do have to apologize to y'all because I believed everything I saw on social media with all the comments and everything like that. He said, y'all are just down to earth, good old boys, and y'all can play. Y'all are good.
Yeah, no.
So that was one of those awesome moments in the career for sure.
You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's all been awesome and great. You know,
Right.
we've had a lot of stuff we had to figure out and navigate through during this. You know,
Well, we're human too. I mean, there's only so much you can take at the same time.
You can go on a month span of being on a high, you know.
Yeah.
But then you wake up the next day and there's that low where, you know, it just, even when you're not reading the comments, we turned all that crap off. Don't even care about them now.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's some things can hit you all at once, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, we've got highs moments, we've got low moments. We
Especially in
try to
this
keep it good
industry,
where
you
it's
know.
at.
Yeah.
And,
That roller coaster.
Because it brings you up here and then it drops you down here, you know?
Yeah,
Best
I mean,
thing-
we went from having, and then this is just completely disclosing everything. We went from having our own band and stuff that was on the road with us 24/7 to now trying to find guys and stuff to sub out shows because it's like, all right, it didn't happen fast enough, so we're gonna go play with other people. And you know,
Right.
it's a struggle because for a year now we've been hard rehearsing, and you know, you grow as a family and stuff, and
Yeah.
things like that. You know, it could hit you hard, and so
Yeah, you don't expect it.
no, there's definitely the roller coaster effect in this town
Yeah.
that people don't really see because we try not to let them see it.
Right. So one of your deeper songs you actually have is it's Camouflage, I would say. What, like, kind of tell us the meaning behind that song and how you came up with that.
Man, we were both of us. Everyone was out of the house that day. He walks in with his guitar sitting in the living room. I'm already in there. We're just sitting down. He's picking a little. I was like, dude, he had this one line. What it was something about you just put on more camouflage. You're hiding your emotions.
Right.
He had that thought, that idea.
Yeah.
We sat down and started writing that song in the living room that day, and we're like, we've had enough. Like I said, we're human.
Right.
Enough is enough, and there's sometimes we can't go out and just fight our way through it, punch our way through it. Anyone that ever hackles you or anything says something. So we're like, we got to express ourselves at the same time and what we're kind of going through, feeling, and just what all's going on. And Camouflage came out of that. It was just one of those songs where enough's enough. You got to get what you feel out there. So
You know, still on the country to the bone feel with Camouflage. Everybody just when we started advertising that song, people was like, "Oh, it's gonna be another country to the bone song."
I'm wearing camo, by
yeah.
the creek.
And, no, we wanted to put a real deep twist to that. We wanted to, because everybody goes through it. You know,
Right.
everybody puts on that camouflage and hides their own feelings and stuff and
Whatever
goes
they
out
are,
to
yeah.
the town when they're networking. You know, it's a fake smile. It's everything's great in life. You know, everything is going good in the career, and we've all been there. We've all done it, and it's just one of them songs where we wanted to bring that to light because there's too many people pushing it in the dark.
Yeah. No. That's so true. Like, do you feel like, do you guys have any like bigger artists that like will try to kind of guide you and give you advice, you know?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Chase and stuff, but has there been other people like since, you know, the social media stuff, like try to reach out?
We've had Chase actually reached out. He said, "Dude, Lauren Elena, huge fan of you guys." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Man,
like
that's
this
crazy."
thing,
Yeah. I actually met Lauren. I met her a couple years ago at Dark Horse Studio. She was doing a documentary for American Idol, and we were filming our record, or we were recording our record there.
Yeah.
And we passed through. I met her and stuff, talked to her. I don't think she remembers that.
Oh,
but
she
knows us
100% doesn't.
she knows us off social media and stuff. So she's reached out through Chase. We had Luke Grimes call us on the phone the other day, which was pretty awesome. And so he offers some advice and stuff, and was like, just keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Granger Smith gave us some advice and stuff, reached out to us, invited us out to the festival. We've had Megan Maroney and their crew reaching out. We've had so many things, man. Kane Brown and the label. We had Hardy and stuff.
So you did a little bit of stuff for the Jim Bob. Yeah, tell me more about that. Like,
man, that was fun. That was one of them deals where we got that email and we were like, all right, I mean, yeah, let's go out and let's have a little fun with this. Don't know what all it consists of, who all's gonna be there, but I mean, it's Big Loud reaching out to you. Ultimately, you're not gonna tell them no. So they said, why don't y'all come on out? We got our Jim Bob mascot. We're gonna put out some content. We didn't know what it consisted of.
Yeah.
And we got there. They were like, all right, so y'all are gonna sing karaoke tonight. I'm like, man, I've never sang karaoke in my life, like ever.
Singing karaoke is hard for us too, because apparently my musicians here like to let me know I sing in weird keys.
Yeah, and
I'm singing a lot of flat keys and stuff, and the song may be recorded in like G, and we're singing it in like A flat or something, or B or C or D or E or whatever it is, but I don't know. They all get mad at me, especially Beer Never Broke My Heart. It's apparently got some intricate guitar thing and bass line and all that stuff. They get mad at me. So
you just want to sing it the Lan Law way.
Yeah, picking karaoke songs and stuff has always been hard. So I think we picked what we do, Overhead and Ladies Love Country Boys.
Ladies Love Country Boys, I believe.
We did that stuff that we knew that those two were
or honky-tonk.
We knew that those two were songs that we do in the original.
So you went down to Broadway and you filmed this like content with Jim Bob and stuff.
Yeah, we went.
Does he talk or no?
Dude, Jim Bob,
Jim Bob,
the dude is actually a super chill, like awesome, down to earth guy.
No, Jim Bob don't talk, man. Most of the time his words are too slurred and stuff from all the booze he's been drinking.
Well, see, that's the thing. We got down there and they're like, all right, you're going to sing karaoke. We're like, all right, yeah, never done it, but now's the time. I mean, Big Loud wants to sing. Wants you to sing, you sing. Yeah. So we got up there and did that, and then they're like, all right, let's go outside and we're going to shoot some content with Jim Bob and all this.
I'm still a little hurt that he broke up with us.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was a little sad. I mean, that Nissan Stadium show would have been fun.
He broke up with us and stuff. We didn't even know it was coming. We were like, well, dang. It was a good run while it lasted. Nissan would have been fun.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
Oh, we had a fun time that night. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty fast paced, but it was get in, like, do your job, have the time of your life, just have fun doing it. Yeah. Everyone was there to have fun, get some content, and just have.
Yeah. Did you guys like end up meeting Hardy or talk to Hardy or anything like that?
We did not meet Hardy. He just had his baby, and so he was.
Well, he knows who you guys are for sure.
Right.
I hope he does. I hope he does. We had a great time getting to promote that song for him and getting it out there to our people and stuff, and it got a good push on it. I think we had several 100,000 views and stuff on it. So
that's cool.
It's small numbers compared to most, but we're growing every day, and we're still just trucking along. We got so much.
There's a lot of artists in this town that wish they could have the numbers that you guys have. So you guys are doing pretty well.
Well, thank you, man. I don't know how we got them. Just the grace of the good Lord. Like I said, we didn't pay for nothing. It just, we put out the video and it was God's time and it just happened, you know. And the way it happened was a weird way it happened, you know. And artist, I think, ever wants to put their music out and then get that kind of response on it.
Yeah.
But we got put in professional hate groups where people were actually paid to make those comments. And then it kind of just stuck after that.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like our thing.
Well, can we get paid?
Yeah, it's like I have people telling me all the time, like, y'all are the country version of Nickelback. I'm like, I'll take it. You know,
I mean, look at Nickelback.
We're not going anywhere. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We've been
Absolutely.
doing it this long, and those comments will not stop us.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep pushing through, and we will take this to the daggone top, and we will work our butts off to get there, you know?
No,
And
absolutely.
I think despite everything, everybody looks at us like with this huge push on the huge outreach, ESPN, Bobby Bones, like these guys have made it, and we're working every day to still try to make it. You know?
Yes, sir.
And we got so much more to do. We got so much more music to make, so many more songs to write, and
Well, you guys are
we're
young
just
in
having
your
the
career.
best time of our lives.
You
doing
got,
it, you know?
yeah, like you said, like, you know, you're young in your career, and you got 4 songs out with the 5th one on the way. You know,
Maybe even a 6. That's what I was saying earlier. We rolled into town and
Lance just looked at you. He's like, "Shut the hell up."
well, we literally rolled into town. We're supposed to be recording tomorrow, and now we're sitting here thinking, maybe we can push 2 songs while we're in there.
I didn't even tell the producer this yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
what I
he'll
said.
be fine with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
A little
It's
bit
a-
more money in his pocket, he'll be happy.
Well, I mean, we're in town. Might as well go ahead and track some vocal, and it might be the first Lan Law acoustic version that's pushed out. So
Let's go.
we'll see. I don't know.
That's
Not gonna get
exciting.
anyone's hopes up yet, but we'll see.
You just did, bro. Now we're
Now we got to
committed.
do it.
Now we're committed.
Well, guess what? You should go check out Lan Law if you know if they're coming to your city. Go check out their music on Spotify, their content on Instagram, TikTok, you name it. They're great guys. Obviously, you heard it first, but they really appreciate you listening to their music.
Yes, sir.
You guys got anything you want to say? Anything you want to tag before we dip out of here?
Man, just want to say thank you for having us on the Podunk podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
Seth, you're a great guy.
Thank you.
And when you first reached out, I was ecstatic about doing this. I'm glad we got to set it up.
been
And
fun.
guys, y'all keep coming to the shows, keep commenting, whether it's good or bad. We don't care. We love it. It's pushing us out there, so we really appreciate it. But no, man, it's a blessing altogether. And like I said, we're here to stay. So we'll see you guys out on the road.
Awesome. I'm gonna crack a Mountain Dew and cheers to that.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Hit me up.
Boom.
There we go.
There it is. Holland Swallow.